All right, hey guys, this is a H-Town Tennis exclusive with professional tennis player Daniel Nguyen. We're here in Houston, Texas. He just finished playing his first round match, and good win for you.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Always good to get through a match quite fast. Tough
Yeah.
conditions
But
today.
that kid was like the number one kid at Rice. He's kind of a big deal around here.
Yeah, yeah.
And you gave him a breadstick and a bagel.
Yeah, I mean, going into the match, I looked up his record. I mean, he had some decent wins and tough matches he won. But yeah, I just sort of played pretty solid and stuck to my game, and really happy to get through today with the really cold wind chill and yeah, tough conditions.
Yeah. So for those of us that don't know too much about you, tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, how you started playing tennis, and your junior career.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Oxnard, California. Actually born in Long Beach and then raised majorly in Oxnard, California, which is sort of near Santa Barbara area,
Yeah,
the Ventura
805.
County. Yeah, 805.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good boxers out there, and yeah, it was a really small city. So I grew up there, and I started playing tennis about age 5. My mom sort of started teaching me tennis. I had 2 older brothers, so I remember going out there when I was younger and go to the local park and have my mom feed me balls, and I'd always try to play with my brothers. And yeah, I had a handful of coaches growing up. Probably the most one of the more influential coaches I had were these 2 coaches from Zimbabwe. They sort of jump started my career when I was like about 13, 14. I worked with them for about 2 years, and we sort of had a good group of guys coming into Oxnard. And then from 15, 16, I sort of changed coaches, and then I was homeschooled. Actually, I have quite a weird story or backstory. During my high school years, I was homeschooled my first 2 years, and I was sort of kind of burnt out from tennis from my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and luckily one of my good friends from Santa Barbara sort of recruited me. He's like, hey, his name is Chris O. He's like, hey, you want to come play high school tennis? And I was like, sure, yeah. And so my junior year, I ended up going to Santa Barbara to play high school tennis, and then through that,
How high of a ranking did you get in California?
I wasn't like the most talented player, but like I think I got like top 20, top 10 maybe a few times. When I was like 12, I was like pretty high up, like top 5, and then
Yeah.
I think 14, 16s, I was I think 20 or 30 in SoCal.
Yeah, you say it so nonchalantly, but that's still a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then nationally, I think I don't know, like maybe 50 or 60. I wasn't like a great junior. I did well in doubles. I had some like the Kalamazoo. Do you know Kalamazoo?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I ended up winning
For
Kalamazoo in 16s and 18s doubles,
Cool.
and that was cool playing the U.S. Open through that. But yeah, and so in high school was introduced to family. My last year, my senior year of high school, and that family sort of helped really kickstart my sort of tennis career. Initially going into college, I didn't think I was going to play professional tennis, but yeah, once I got into USC, I sort of found my passion for tennis.
Yeah, so that's how a lot of us know you, is from that legendary USC team that won 4 national championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Stevie Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So was that a lifelong dream to play for USC?
No, kind of funny. So one of my good friends who got me into Santa Barbara High School, he was supposed to go to UCLA, and he went to UCLA. So I was like, I'm gonna, go to UCLA. One of my best friends is going there. So pretty much my senior year of high school, towards the tail end of my high school career, I sort of verbally committed to UCLA, and then I found out last minute, towards the end of graduation, that Billy Martin, at the time the coach, said, sorry, I can't get you in. And initially I didn't have like the greatest grades, but I was on track to graduate and everything, and I had all the requirements to get into college. Yeah, so I had to sort of find a school to go to college in the next like month or so.
Yeah.
And so I moved. I became really close to this family. They're called the Grant family. Jeff and Annette Grant. They sort of welcomed me into their place in Santa Barbara, and they sort of mentored me, really helped me sort of get through high school. I was quite behind in high school, and they really sort of guided me in the right direction. And then they, luckily, one of their coworkers introduced me to Peter Smith, who was the head coach at USC, and last minute, I think it was in July 2008. Peter said, hey, I can get you in, and so I found out last minute, pretty much going to USC. I never visited the campus at all, never went there, and I moved in August. Drove my car up with my parents and moved into the dorms, and I guess the rest is history.
Yeah, cool. So your highest ranking so far in the pros has been around 180.
Yeah, 189 around there.
Yeah, and what are your career highlights? I know you played in Vietnam recently and won a couple tournaments over there, right?
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Always going back to the motherland. I've been back to Vietnam probably a few times before that. Going one time for a vacation after graduating from college, and then I sort of was recruited by the Vietnam Tennis Federation around 2015, but the deal didn't sort of work out, and it's just to go back to Vietnam. Earlier this year, I was introduced to one of an owner of a club team out there, and I sort of built a relationship with him, and I went back to these two tournaments where it was in the city of Tay Ninh, and I sort of expect, when you approach each tournament, you sort of go in there with the mindset, hey, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to obviously try to win, but tennis is a difficult sport. Only one person wins out of a job, 32 or 48, and I just somehow managed to get through these two tournaments. I mean, the first tournament was ridiculous. I remember in the quarterfinals match, I was down 40-love, 5-2 in the third set, and ended up winning that match. And the guy was serving for the match at 40-love.
Wow.
I don't know how I somehow pulled that match out. And then the final, I played a local Vietnamese guy who's extremely talented and good, and had tough conditions out there, and was able to win that match. And it's always tough to back something up the second week, and I was able to do that. I was pretty tired, but there's a few. I think the semifinal match, I had some. Each match I feel like it just presents its own difficulties. So I was I almost lost the semifinal match. I was down double break in the second set and figured it out. It was cool to sort of win in Vietnam and sort of represent my family, myself, and the country as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you play singles or doubles, or did you play doubles too? I know you played singles.
Yeah, I played doubles in the first one, but I had to pull out. I had a full body cramp after the second that quarterfinal match. But I came back, and so I had to pull out and just focus on singles.
Yeah, because you have a great net game.
Yeah.
So I figured you'd be a good doubles player
for
too.
Sure. Yeah, I enjoy doubles. It's fun.
Yeah. So what's the plan from here on out?
So before these, doing well these tournaments, I was initially just going to take the rest of the year off. Houston was going to be my last tournament, and I was just ready for Thanksgiving and the holidays. But I found out about maybe a few weeks ago that I got invited to go play at the SEA Games, the Southeast Asian Games, and it's going to be held in the Philippines. And I was really lucky enough to have Vietnam contact me, the federation, and they offered me to go play for them and represent the country. So they got me a passport and everything, and now I'll looking to represent Vietnam at this Southeast
Awesome.
Asian Games.
That's great. We need representation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have and I've read a few articles where you've said you wanted to do something with the Vietnamese community, as far as tennis and outreach and stuff like that. Is that still in the works? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in helping out. Just from my sort of teen years, I was helped out a lot. So I really enjoy sort of giving back and helping the tennis community or any community at all. I really want to sort of help grow tennis in Vietnam and sort of use my knowledge in America where I was born, and sort of transfer that over there.
Do you have a message for the young Vietnamese Americans here that maybe want to get into a career in professional athletics?
Yeah,
because we don't have very much to look up to.
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot of Vietnamese tennis players, or I guess professional. Good question. Probably dream big. Keep your dreams big, and just keep working hard, and find your passion. I think if you can sort of find your passion in sports, in any sports, keep with it. and yeah.
Cool. Any shout outs? Sponsors?
I guess shout out to my parents. Without them, I wouldn't be able to be here playing tennis. To Jeff and Annette Grant, they sort of paved my way to get here. My coach Oliver, who's out here, he just left this morning. My physical therapist out here, Alex, and the one back at home, my main guy, Drew. Peter Smith, the USC coach, I'm so close with him. Without him, I wouldn't have the success either. In terms of sponsors, the Tay Nin, the club team, thank the owner, Mr. Yang. Thank you for your support towards my tennis career. And and family members, my uncles. I have uncles and aunts that are super supportive, and they've been sending prayers to me and everything, and I'm thankful for them.
Cool. Are you currently sponsored with anyone?
Selenko, yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Selenko, KT, my man KT. He always hooks me up with strings and bag and Tennis Power, the clothing company, through my coach Oliver. Thanks for that, and yeah.
Yeah, that's some cool gear you got on.
Yeah,
that's nice.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
different. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it, and good luck in your next match.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, happy to be here, and take care.